So, on the front side of this worksheet, we are just estimating square roots, right? So that's using note sheet number 5. Note sheet number 5, estimating square roots. We're not going to break down the number. We're not going to get its factors or anything like that. All we need to do is find where that square root, where that square root falls between on the number line. So if we have the square root of 18, that'll be between 16 and 25. So our square root's going to be between 4 and 5. 4 being the root of 16, 5 being the root of 25. So if we have the square root of 27, and we're going to look at note sheet number 2, our perfect square chart, we just have to find the perfect square, 2 of them, that are on either side of 27 on the number line. So is 27 going to be in between 9 and 16, folks? No. What about 25 and 36? Yes. 27 is going to fall right in between 25 and 36. So our answer here is going to be not between 25 and 36, but between 5 and 6. We're looking for the roots here. Between 5 and 6. And that's all you need to write on the front. Between 5 and 6. Then we look over at 295. We reference back to our chart. I got 225 here. It's going to be more than that. 256 is the next one. It's going to be more than that as well. 289, it'll definitely be more than that, but it's not more than 324. So the square root of 295 is going to fall somewhere in between right here. So it's going to be between 17 and 18. Hopefully you guys see what I'm doing here. Between 17 and 18. And remember yesterday we looked on the calculator. We plugged in something like the square root. The square root of 295. You guys can't even see that. If we plugged in the square root of 295 and hit enter, look at that. We get a number that is somewhere in between 17 and 18. Doesn't matter where specifically it is between those two numbers. We're just getting a rough estimate. That's why it's called estimating square roots. 257, square root of 257, number 3, that's going to be right after 256. So it's going to fall between 16 and 17, somewhere right in there, between 16 and 17. And yes, that's fine. If you just want to write BETW/, that's the abbreviated form of between, I'm fine with you writing that as well. I'm hoping we all already have this done, so we're not writing in the abbreviated. We should have already wrote between, but moving forward, if you want to just write the abbreviation, that's fine with me. Okay? 118, someone help me out. Where's number 4 going to fall between? Square root of 118. Jariah, go for it. Between 10 and 11. Perfect. Absolutely right. Thank you, Jariah. Between 10 and 11. Who's got a square root of 47? Delvin? Between 6 and 7. That's right. 6 squared is going to give us 36. 7 squared would give us 49. 47 is going to fall right in between those two perfect squares, right? Mohammed, do you have a question? Or are you going to answer the next one for us?
Yeah, answer the next one.
Perfect. Mohammed, help us out. Square root of 169, what's that going to be between?
12, 13.
Good. Between 12 and 13. Now this one, I don't know how it ended up on this worksheet. It was an accident. What is the square root of 169? Can we find that exact square root? It's 13, right? Well, plus or minus 13 if we want to be exact. But it lands exactly on 13. If we look back to our chart, right? 169 plus or minus 13. So this question actually was not supposed to be on this worksheet. That's my bad. But thank you for pointing that out. That's great. Give me one sec here. Who can help me out with number 7? Susan, go for it. Where's number 7 fall between?
11 and
11 and 10. 11 and 10. We could say, let's flip it around. Let's say between 10 and 11. We always want that smaller number on the left-hand side there. But yes, in between 10 and 11. That's absolutely right. One sec. Okay, number 8, square root of 61. That's going to fall between, looks like 7 and 8, right? Between 7 and 8. 7's perfect square being 49, 8 being 64. Now what about number 9? Who can help me out with number 9 for a rich ticket? Square root of 5. Go ahead, Muhammad.
2, 3.
Yes, between 2 and 3. Absolutely right. Thank you, sir. And finally, who's got number 10? Square root of 77. Go ahead, Noah. Between 8 and 9. Perfect. Absolutely right. I appreciate you guys for volunteering. I'll get those out to you once we get done here. Any questions on the front? Estimating square roots. This part's not too bad, hopefully. Especially because we're not really doing math. We're just kind of using our problem-solving skills to figure out where those numbers are going to fall between. But on the back side, we're actually going to have to do a little bit more work. So number 11, we actually talked through together yesterday. So I'm just going to quickly jot down the answers so we can see and check our work. And that's what we got yesterday when we went over it together. 5 root 5. Sorry, plus or minus 5 root 5. Now we got the square root of 18. Again, we have to ask ourselves, when we are simplifying, we need to break this down. So what two numbers multiply to give me 18?
2 and 9.
2 and 9. Perfect. And look at that. 9 is that special type of number that we call a what square? A perfect square. Exactly. 9 is a perfect square. We know that 9 is 3 times 3, right? So we're going to pull that pair of 3's out. 3 times 3 times 2. We're going to pull that pair of 3's out. Leave that 2 on the inside. Plus or minus 3 root 2. Any questions so far on breaking down these imperfect squares here? All right, down to number 13, we got 50, square root of 50. We're going to break that down into 5 times 10. 10 is going to be 5 times 2. So our factors are 5, 5, and 2, plus or minus 5 root 2. I'm going to go up to number 12 again just for 1 sec, just in case anyone needs it. Now 68. 68's a weird number. It's kind of hard for us to imagine what two numbers multiply to give us 68. But we do know that 68 is even, right? It ends in an even number. The whole number itself is even. So we can split it in half. Anytime we have an even number inside the square root, we can divide it by 2. So when we get a weird number like 68, or as we'll get down to the bottom, or I guess 120 is kind of like this too, we can just split it in half. So what is half of 68? 34, right? Now 34 is another weird number. I don't know which two numbers multiply to give me 34, but I do know that it's even. So I'm going to cut it in half again. What's half of 34, everybody? Or nobody? 17, right? 17. So we got 2 times 2 times 17. Bring that pair of 2's out in front. plus or minus 2 root 17. Now sometimes it looks a little weird when we have a larger number stuck inside our square root, but that's totally fine. We can't split up 17 any more than we already have. So that's just going to be our answer. Plus or minus 2 times the square root of 17. What questions can I answer up to this point? We only got a couple left. Quick show of thumbs, how confident are we feeling about breaking up these imperfect squares here? Okay. So I can't tell if the silence is because you guys are pros at this and you're like, oh, I already got all this right, I don't need to listen. Or I can't tell if the silence is because you're scared of this worksheet or something. I don't know. I can't read the room. So you guys got to let me know. If this isn't making sense, please let me know, because we're going to keep building and building and building as we go through this unit, right? All right, 15, 120, break that up. 2 times 60. 60 is going to be 2 times 30. 30 is going to be 2 times 15. And 15 is going to be 3 times 5. I'm going to move this down. So we got to circle up 2, 2, 2, 3, 5. That's a lot of prime factors there for number 15. If we break that up inside the square root, we get 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 times 5. Now 16 is a weird one, right? Kind of a trick question of sorts. What 2 numbers multiply to give me 10? 5 and 2, right? Can we split either of those numbers up anymore? No, we cannot. Is there an identical pair of factors that we can pull out here? No, there's not. So our answer is just the question. Square root of 10. Susan.
Did you finish number 15?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I did not. My bad. I spaced out for a second. You're very right. Sorry, back to 15. We got 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 times 5. Where's the identical pair that we can pull out? What number? 2's, right? Can we bring all 3 of them out?
No.
No, we can only bring them out in pairs. So we got a 2 in the front. But now we have all these factors left behind. We got a lonesome 2, we got a lonesome 3, and we got a lonely old 5 back there. What do we have to do with those numbers? I'll give you a hint. It starts with an M.
Multiply.
We're going to multiply, right? Take a look. We're multiplying right here, aren't we? So why wouldn't we multiply down here? 2 times 3 times 5, what's that going to give us? 30. Plus or minus 2 root 30. And this one looks even weirder, because 30 is not a prime number. So your brain's probably telling you, I must have done something wrong because 30 is too big of a number to be left behind like that. But there's no identical factors we can pull out of 30, so it's got to stay inside the square root just like that. I'll give you guys a second to... Yes?
Can't you multiply 2 and 6? Oh, wait, no.
Yeah, yes.
Wait,
You're here for Darius? He's right there. No. Jaden, who are you here for? Yusuf, go ahead. And Elijah. Elijah, go ahead real quick, buddy. It won't take long. You'll be back before we start the activity. Ooh. Gives me an idea. All right. Where are we at here? Where are we at? So, Jerai, does that make sense?
yeah, but I was saying, can't you multiply 5 and 6? To get 30?
Yeah, that works too. You could do 2 times 3 to get 6, and then multiply 6 times 5 to get 30, like that. Absolutely. Yep. Good eye. Down to 17, square root of 24. We're going to break that down. What two numbers multiply to give us 24? 12 and 2. We could do 6 and 4. We could do 8 and 3. I'll go with 12 and 2. 12 is 6 times 2, and 6 is 3 times 2. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4 prime factors. 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. So we got a pair we can pull out here, folks. Yeah, we're going to pull out a pair of 2s, right? Bring those 2s out in front. Plus or minus 2 root what? What are we going to have on the inside? 23? Are we just going to combine those numbers together, 2 and 3, and make it 23? No? We're going to multiply it. Thank you, Jariah. We're going to multiply it and get 6. Plus or minus 2 root 6. Two root 6. Moving over to 18. 8 is 4 times 2. 4 is 2 times 2. We got 3 2s, but we can only bring out the pair. And that's what we get for 18. Number 19, 99 is 9 times 11. 9 is 3 times 3. So our prime factors are 3, 3, and 11. Bring those 3s out in front. 11's left behind. And what two numbers multiply to get 27? 3 and 9. 9's that perfect square that we're looking for that's got factors of 3. So here we got 3 times 3 times 3. Again, just because there's 3 of them doesn't mean we can group them all together and bring them out. We can only bring out pairs, which leaves one of those 3's alone inside the square root. Any questions on worksheet 54? All right, if there's no questions and we're all done, let's go ahead and turn this worksheet into whoever's in seat number 1 of your group. Whoever's in seat number 1 of your group. And we're gonna take a step back here. Oh, let me stop this.